version 3, and so on. Don't re-keyboard over it, because you might decide you like version 2 better than version 4, and if you've re-keyboarded it, you don't have it. And you can simply print out each version as you try it. But be sure to keep copies of that, because you're going to take perhaps a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Technique 5, set aside your word count. Most essays require you to produce 350 to 500 words. That's a lot of words. Having to write so much can be very intimidating, which can lead to writer's block. Instead, set yourself a small goal, such as writing 50 to 100 words. Concentrate on writing just that amount. Then reread what you've written. Write 50 more words. Then write 50 more words. Before you know it, you'll have the number of words that you need. Try it yourself. Okay, I'm not going to ask you to write a 500-word essay right now, but I would like you to pause the program and try this technique for breaking through writer's block. Start by writing only 50 words on the following assignment. Trace the causes and the effects of King Philip's War. Imagine that this is just the start of a 500-word essay. You will have to do a little bit of research, of course, because very few of us know about King Philip's War. So do a little bit of research and then write your first 50 words. Of course, your paragraph is going to be different from mine. Try it now. Here's what I wrote. It's 57 words. In 1675, after more than 50 years of peace, war erupted between the Native Americans and English colonists in New England. Although people consider King Philip's War a mere footnote when they consider it at all, in percentage terms, more people were killed in King Philip's War than in the Civil War or the American Revolutionary War. Now I'll add 50 more words, and then 50 more words, and soon I'll have 350 to 500 words. Technique number 6, start with the easiest part. If you can't start writing the first paragraph, start at the end, or the middle, or anywhere else in the essay for that matter. Choose the part that's easiest to write in your given writing situation. You can usually go back and write the rest of the essay, but if you can't, at least you've got something down on paper. This technique breaks through writer's block by relieving a lot of the anxiety that you might feel because you say, well, I don't have anything to write, I don't know what I'm talking about. If you start with what you do know, you'll be able to get something down on paper. Try it yourself. So now what I would like you to do is to pause the program and try this yourself. Suppose you were given a 350 to 500 word essay assignment on this topic. What do you think caused the dinosaurs to disappear from Earth? You're instructed to present at least 2 different theories. But I don't want you to start at the beginning with the introduction. Just write one of the middle or ending paragraphs instead. Remember, your paragraph will be different from mine. And when you finish, come back. I started in the middle with one of the theories. Here's what I wrote. In 1980, Luis Alvarez and his son Walter theorized that the dinosaurs disappeared when an asteroid collided with Earth 65 million years ago. They argued that the asteroid penetrated the Earth's crust, scattering dust and debris into the atmosphere that blocked most of the sunlight for months and lowered the planet's temperature. In addition, the asteroid caused huge fires, fierce storms, tsunamis, and volcanic eruptions. In turn, these disasters increase the amount of toxic compounds in the Earth's atmosphere. This would have made the planet inhospitable for the survival of the dinosaurs. Later, I'll go back and write the introduction and the rest of my essay. Technique number 7, try a different method of transcription. Transcription is the way you actually get your ideas down on paper. Shake things up. If you usually write on a computer, write longhand. If you usually write longhand, write on a computer. If you write with a pen, try a pencil or vice versa. You might even want to use a tape recorder. Try it yourself. So now what I would like you to do is pause the program and try this method. Use a different method of transcription than you usually use to write this topic. Historically, trade routes have a significant impact on the development of a culture. Agree or disagree. When you're finished, come back. Since I always write on a computer, and I have for many years, I wrote my answer longhand in pencil. This helped me overcome writer's block because I'm using a different set of muscles and a different part of my brain. And you can try this over and over again with different writing tools. Technique 8, set a timer. Set aside a specific amount of time to write. Actually use a timer. It can be the timer on your cell phone, it can be the timer on your watch, it can be an egg timer. Start with a small amount of time, say 15 to 20 minutes. Don't get up until that time is done. Force yourself to write at least notes on the assignment. If you have a deadline for school, set the timer for 15 to 20 minutes per hour. This helps you deal with procrastination as well as writer's block, because one of the big problems when you get writer's block is you procrastinate. You feel blocked, so you don't write. So now what I would like you to do is pause the program and try this yourself. Write for 5 minutes on this topic. A classic is something that everybody wants to have read and nobody wants to read, said Mark Twain. Discuss what you think makes a book a classic. Support your position by providing at least 2 examples of books that you think everyone should read. Of course, your writing will be different from mine. When you're finished, come back. Here's what I wrote in 5 minutes. Everybody knows about Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, but many people have not actually read it. They should, because the tragedy teaches timeless lessons about love and family. What Shakespeare said more than 400 years ago has an eerily modern ring to it. A teenage couple falls in love but are forbidden to marry because their parents are feuding. By forcing myself to write for just 5 minutes and simply getting something down on paper, I'm a lot less likely to suffer from writer's block. Technique 9, visualize yourself writing. When you visualize, you get a mental picture, a picture in your brain of something. And you can imagine yourself succeeding or you can imagine yourself failing. If you imagine yourself succeeding and you visualize yourself writing, you are much more likely to break through writer's block. And here's how you do it. Sit at a desk and get ready to write. Close your eyes. Actually imagine yourself writing. See yourself in your mind's eye writing. Do this for about 1 minute. Now, 1 minute doesn't sound like a long amount of time, but when you're visualizing, it is. Then open your eyes and start to write. Don't make this an excuse for not writing. Try it yourself. So now what I would like you to do is pause the program and try this yourself. Read this topic. Then take a few minutes to close your eyes and imagine yourself writing about it. A man may die, nations may rise and fall, but an idea lives on, John F. Kennedy said. Write a short paragraph about this topic. When you're finished, come back. Now, it's hard to show visualization. I mean, I'd have to show a picture of myself going and imagining, but I hope this technique worked for you. If it did, continue to use it. And if it didn't, try other techniques. But try it again occasionally to see if it works with a specific topic. It works very well with athletes. And so you might find that it may not work with you in one instance, but it will work with you in another. Technique number 10, eliminate distractions. When you're blocked and you don't want to write, it's very easy to find the things to distract you. So try to get rid of those things. For example, if you're in class, don't sit near people who distract you. Don't sit near the window, so you're not going to look outside. Try to sit in front of the room because you'll do better if you sit in front of the class. If you're home, try as hard as you can to set aside a quiet place to write. Turn off the television, turn off the video games, turn off all the music or play it very softly. Turn off your cell phone and get all the pets out of your room. Anything that's going to distract you from your writing task. Again, if you're blocked, it's easy to find things to distract. I'm not going to have you pause the program and try that because you know how to do that. If you don't have a quiet place in your home, try to use a study hall or the library or anywhere where you can eliminate distractions and get your writing done. Technique 11, develop rituals. Writing is a skill, and like any other skill, gets easier and better with practice. So if you make writing a regular habit, like exercise, you'll find that you're blocked much less often. Set up some rituals that tell your brain that it's time to write. Some people, and I'm one of them, will buy a new pen or a new pad when I have a new assignment to tackle. So I have my new implements in front of me, and I'm all ready to start my new writing. Or set up a study center. Sit in the same place at the same time every day. You might want to eat a specific snack before you start writing. Maybe you have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or a cup of juice or a glass of milk. You might want to sharpen your pencils. Whatever it is that tells your brain that it's time to write. I'm not going to have you develop a ritual now, but keep in mind that if you make writing a habit and you have a set pattern, you'll find it's much less likely that you'll become blocked. Technique 12, shake up an existing ritual. If you usually write at a specific place at a specific time every day and you're finding that you're getting blocked, try varying your routine. If you sit in a classroom, for example, maybe the teacher will let you change your seat. Perhaps sitting in the same place is causing you to have difficulty writing. So leave your usual place and try something different. Maybe try the library, maybe try the cafeteria, maybe try lying on the floor. Sometimes your brain thinks about your writing assignment differently when you shake up your location. If you normally write in the evening, try getting up very early and write early in the morning. So for some people, setting up a ritual and sticking to it helps them unblock. Whereas for others, the ritual creates a block and makes it difficult for them. So decide which one works for you if you're blocked. Try the variation. I'm not going to have you try it now, but you would try to change your seat or you would try to change the time in which you write. Technique 13, take human bites. If you have a huge writing task, such as a research